What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the talented Mr. Taco, here with TDS Ricky, and we're gonna go do another little mock draft for you guys. This time it's gonna be of the 12-team variety. It's gonna be a 12-team PPR league. We're gonna be drafting from the ninth spot. But before we get that going, I like to, start the minds flowing. So, Ricky, I have a question for you.
Yep.
Last season, how many players had more than 1,000 yards rushing?
How many players had more than 1,000 yards rushing?
Yeah.
I would say 6.
Nope. Try again.
More?
I just said try again. Yeah,
Uh,
one more try.
I would say 8.
Nope.
How many?
I'll give you one more try.
Is it that low? Damn, is it that low? What, 4?
Nope. The
What
answer
is
is
it?
9. 9 players
9. I
finished
thought it
with.
was higher. Yeah, I was like, wait, it has to be. Then it has to be
Yep.
more than 6. I was like, it has to be more than 6.
I thought it was fitting that, with the ninth pick, I bring up a stat that was related to the ninth spot.
Gotcha.
So, I spent hours researching this. No lie.
Just to
um,
make this.
right. But just to go off the top of the head, and I'll show everyone what we're looking at here. We have Derrick Henry had over 2,000 yards. Cook had 1,500. Jonathan Taylor had 1169. Aaron Jones had 1104. James Robinson had 1070. Montgomery 1070. Nick Chubb had 1,067 yards. Jacobs had 1,065. And the lone quarterback in the group, Lamar Jackson, with 1,005 yards. Interesting little stat to start off the draft. Try to keep everyone here educated and ready to go. Keep it flexible, keep it mobile, keep it agile. You know what I mean? I feel like we're in Remember the Titans and we're going through the training camp and he's like, I like my guys mobile, agile, hostile. That's what we're doing right now for all of our listeners. We're getting you guys ready so that we can deliver, or you guys could deliver a number one, a championship experience for you and your team. So to start off this mock draft, I don't think there's really much of a change from anything that we would expect, especially if we are picking out of the number 9 slot.
Right.
Now, looking at what we have available, there is an Austin Eckler, an Adams, a Hill, Hopkins. Looking deeper into the running back scenario, Jonathan Taylor is there, Aaron Jones, and Nick Chubb. When I look at the wide receivers, I see Tyreek Hill, Adams. All the wide receivers are available. Tight end wise, we saw Travis Kelce go off. So Waller and Kittle are the top 2 wide receivers. Off the top of the head, I mean, I know where I would probably go with this, but Ricky, I'll start off with you. What are you thinking?
I probably would go with a running back. I'm just not sure if I would choose Eckler. I'd probably go Taylor.
In full honesty, I think that's the way I would go too. I look at Tyreek Hill and he's very interesting to take here because I think he has the possibility to have the highest point totals. But with running back being the position that it is, where it is kind of harder to find consistent players, and when you look at the opportunity that's going to be afforded to Jonathan Taylor this season, with him potentially being that main back, I'm just it's just too much of a value for me at 9.
I also think because where we are, it's 10, 11, 12, and then coming back, it's a big drop from Taylor to what the next available running backs will probably be for us on the way back.
Well, I mean, now here's where it gets interesting. I see Hopkins, I see Ridley, I see Jefferson and Metcalf. AJ Brown, we're looking at top wide receiver options. But when I see Antonio Gibson right there, I think to me it disproves what you were saying. You actually get left with a really good option who I think could be right there with Taylor competing for that spot inside the top 10. I like his upside. I like his role in that Washington offense. I think that even with Fitzpatrick, they're going to lean a lot on the running game because, like you said, it could be Fitzmagic or Fitztragic really quick. So I think that this sets up Antonio Gibson to have a lot of volume. And with running back being so volatile, I think that going running back here is amazing.
Normally I do like the wide receivers that are left. But because running backs are so scarce, and they have now so many teams do the timeshare, right? Um, I do like the idea of having two solid number ones for two teams that they did well last year, and I'm expecting them to do more. So
Mhm.
yeah, I don't mind going to Gibson. Out of all the running backs that are left, Gibson is the best one.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Harris does offer upside. Same thing with Hilaire, but it's too risky. One is a rookie, and
Yeah.
one we're banking on him.
No, I'd
Turning
rather
it
get
around.
one of the receivers instead than one of the other. Gibson, I know, is number one. He's the guy there.
Yep. And we just saw Michael Thomas just go off the board, so I guess they didn't update the system showing that Michael Thomas is going to be out for the start of the season, which definitely is going to lower his value across
Where
the.
do you think he goes down?
Honestly, we have to see what the reports are as we get closer to it. As of right now, I
As
wouldn't
of
go.
right now, what they're saying.
Like as of right now, if you're telling me he's out for that long, I wouldn't take. I would probably take him right around where T Higgins, Ayuk, Juju, like right here, like 25, 26, 27. That's where I'm like, it's worth it for me to take a guy like Thomas, where he might miss the beginning part of the season, but when he comes back, I know he's going to be better than these guys. Versus, maybe Ayuk would be the only guy that I would really think about it, but Juju,
I probably
Sutton,
would take
Beckham,
Ayuk over Michael Thomas.
maybe that. I mean, I think the situation with
I would be scared about Michael Thomas.
I'm a little scared about Ayuk just because of the main fact that we have everyone coming back this season, and now we have
Yeah, but
Garoppolo.
I think they developed a good rapport. I think he was, especially with the offense getting.
He didn't have the Jimmy G wasn't there. Jimmy G's going to be the starter.
I'm saying of the offensive coordinator, I think
The
they had.
offensive corner. I'll be honest with you. Like,
I think Ayuk showed his
yeah,
world.
he was good.
I think he's
He's
going to be the
good, but
main guy. I don't really
let's
see.
there's
Kittle's the only one that of course.
his top end upside is not higher than Michael Thomas. There's no way if ands or
I'm
buts
just scared
about
of
it.
Michael Thomas's injury. I'm scared of what happened last year because they said he was injured and be back, and then it took longer, and then it took forever, and he missed most the entire season.
Yeah,
So it's
but
now
you know
coming
what?
back to the same
This
thing.
is a situation where we do have to monitor the health.
And my thing is, Michael Thomas has no Drew Brees. There's no real incentive to come back, especially if they're come back losing.
No,
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if he sits out a whole season again.
I'm
After
not saying he
last
sits out
season.
the whole season, but I could see him sitting now 8, 9, 10 weeks, and that's a killer to have in your injured choosing at that spot there. If he's out for 6, 7 weeks, that's a killer pick to choose him right there. That's a
Not
killer pick.
well, yes, in the second, third round, but if you're picking him over Ayuk, you're talking about you're not making that round till you're not talking about that till at least 3 rounds after this.
Even
4 rounds.
a fifth round, if he's out for half the season, that's a long time. Especially with not the certainty of who's quarterback, how they're performing, what's going on. No Drew Brees. He already had a bad year at the fifth round, and you choose him because the fifth round you're still expecting to probably plug in your starter.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like you're that's a round that you're expecting to plug in and be a guy on your squad.
I think it really depends on how the rest of your roster is. Like, if I feel like I have a solid top 4 and I look at a Michael Thomas, like, come playoff time, his upside is tremendous. So it's really going to come down to you have to follow the camp reports and see what everything is saying.
Yeah, no, I would have to be really certain about what they're saying about Michael Thomas. To me, to pick him from what I'm hearing now, he would be.
Yeah, but that's a conversation for another time with Michael Thomas. And again, it's really going to come because he already had the surgery. It's not like he's just going in for that surgery. So his timetable puts him back in sometime in October. Which again, it's going to miss at least 6 games. You're thinking probably off the bat. So with bye weeks, that's 7. You're talking about you'll have him for 10 weeks out of the 17 weeks. That's something interesting. I think here at this point in the draft, there are 2 guys that 3 guys really that I'd be looking at: Woods, Lamb, and Godwin. I'm on the record of saying I think Lamb passes Cooper. I'm not sold on Cooper. I love Woods overall. I think he's super solid. And Godwin, I think, is going to be the number 1 wide receiver there for Tampa Bay, and I think he offers the most upside. So
I like Cooper. I I like Woods and I like Lamb, but I would choose Cooper over Lamb, and I would choose Cooper over Godwin. With that coming back, Cooper's been nothing but great since he got to Dallas. So to me, he's the most surest thing.
I don't know. I'll be on the record as saying I am not sold. I am not sold, especially now that Lamb is there and Gallup is there and everything is the way that it is. I am not sold.
Yeah, but you can say things. You say Godwin now. Everyone's healthy. It's the first year.
Yeah, but
Evans is there. Antonio Brown is there for the whole year.
Godwin's upside is higher than
Cooper's but I mean they got a full squad now, another full year. I mean there's a lot of mouths to feed. They didn't bring back Fournette.
But again, my point here is Godwin is a better player.
No, I get it, but I'm just saying there's a lot of
Lamb to me is going to end
Cooper's been the number one. So you say like Godwin could be the number one. Cooper's been the number one in Dallas. So there's a difference. Cooper has shown already to be the number one on the
team.
Not
sold on it.
Godwin hasn't. Well, you can't really say you're not sold on it. If you look at his last 2 seasons, he outperformed. He did really well. What are you talking about, Steve? You can't say you're not sold on it when he's done already what he's done.
I'm not sold on it.
I mean, even the last year with no Dak, he did well. And then the year before with Dak, he did great. So I don't know what I mean. When you say you're not sold on it, he already did it. It's nothing really to sell. He's not selling you anything. Godwin.
Yeah, because guess what? I'm not buying what you did. I'm buying what you're doing. And last season, what did he do? He had 92 catches for 1,114 yards and 5 touchdowns.
And that's with no Dak.
Okay, and then what did Lamb do?
No, I get it, but I'm like I said, Cooper. I think is still just a little. Dak is going to look a little more his way.
No, I think that this is the year that Lamb takes him over, but I wish I could have Lamb's stats here. Now, the thing about Lamb is that he didn't to start the season. He wasn't the primary guy, and he had 217, which I guess that really threw me off because he was so close to Cooper. Then, hold on 1 second. Let me get this just to pull this up. So last year, Mike Evans finished ahead of all of them, but I think he's too volatile because he's very touchdown dependent.
I do too.
Mike Evans had 1,000 yards and
he had a lot of games where he didn't get anything.
Yep. CeeDee Lamb and Cooper within 20 points last year, and CeeDee Lamb was a rookie, and he didn't even start the season as a top 3 wide receiver. And because of that, I just love his upside. When we look at just his ability to be involved in the rushing game, be involved in the passing game, his young explosiveness, everything that he does. Even here, Cooper Pup, I don't even know what. Still working through the recovery of his cleanup on his ankle that forced him to miss all of mini camps.
No, again, I still think I would choose him over Godwin, and because that's the one that you said you like Godwin, which is way low. I would choose him over I would choose Cooper over Godwin. That's not even an option for me. I thought for me. Who's the next? What's next? So who are we going for? What receiver? Because I'm with you. We need a receiver.
I mean, at this point in the draft, there's multiple ways that you can go. I think David Montgomery in the 4th round, 40th pick is a solid deal. I think Kupp has a great upside. Thielen has good upside. I think DJ Moore is good. I think you can get one of the boys from Tampa Bay. And, I think that reports of Godwin being like some sort of like trash can or that he's not better than a guy like Cooper is very, over exaggerated, as we saw with, Godwin's breakout 2019 season when he had, 1,300 yards, 9 touchdowns, 86 catches, and was the darling of most fantasy owners. He beat Cooper, and he's shown that capability.
Yeah, but again, that's 2 different quarterbacks. You're talking now Brady, the GOAT.
Tom Brady.
And you're talking about, who do you have at that year? He had Winston.
Right, but that still doesn't take away from the fact that Godwin.
No, I get it, but it's 2 different quarterbacks. When you're running from behind, when you're not winning, when you're not in a fluid offense, and your guy have a guy that's throwing 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions because he throws that much, hey, the volume is going to be up there. He's gonna be the guy.
But
I've
to
been
tell
saying
me
that.
that Godwin is not like probably the
What I'm
top
saying to you is
thing
no,
on
no.
the
What I'm
board.
saying to you is just that Brady is more gonna spread it out, more gonna feed everyone, more involve everyone. Where Godwin might not be able to get anywhere to 1,300 because the value is not going to be there because Brady's not. They're going to know once he starts going to Godwin. Godwin. They're going to defense on that. He's like, okay, I'm just going to go over here to Gronk, or I'm going to go to AJ Brown, or I'm going to go back to Mike Evans. It's a lot of mouths to feed.
So you're telling me that Godwin is not a top 20 wide receiver?
No. Again, you're
So
not.
then, who are you taking?
Because
who are you taking over Godwin here?
Not here.
Well, this is what we're looking at right now. Chris Godwin's
I know,
on the board.
where we were going for is I'm telling you
We
about
took
Cooper.
we took
And
Woods
you
over
were
him.
talking about Godwin as
all right, but that pick is over. We have Woods already off the board. Godwin is still here.
I have no problem going with Godwin. No problem at all. I was talking more on the other one. There, I would have problem. Here, take him. I have no problem with Godwin at this point. You're talking about 1,300, but the circumstances were completely different from what the circumstances are now.
I don't really see
have
that.
to. You can't just.
I don't see Godwin and Cooper really being in that much of a different situations where you're like, Cooper is so much safer than a Godwin. I don't really see that at all.
I've seen
them
Cooper,
being close,
but I've seen Cooper perform with these guys in this offense with a high-powered offense.
Cooper's never done it with Lamb there like that.
But he had Gallup before. He had other. They had a high power when he got to that a high powered offense.
Not Lamb. Lamb is better than anyone they ever had.
A high powered.
That's the reason.
They were one of the better offenses.
That's why Cooper's going to go down. It's because everyone's
they were one of the better offenses in the league.
But the problem is Lamb is going to be the primary because he's a better player. He's going to start getting more.
What I'm saying to you is I've seen Cooper do it in a fluid offense with a great quarterback. Right. And I've not seen Godwin. I've seen Godwin do it where there's a shootout with Winston throwing all the time to Godwin. Like it's just
the same quarterback, but they didn't have the top end wide receiver, which changes the flow of the offense. But this is not a whole thing to be talking about Cooper and Godwin. So with the next pick that we have here, we're looking at a guy like DJ Moore who's still on the board. Kenny Golladay, TJ Hawkinson, Henderson are still there. Dak Prescott, Kyle Pitts. There's definitely some options available. DJ Moore slipping this low is kind of really interesting to me. I think DJ Moore does offer a lot of opportunity. I know last season he had a bit of a rough year. If I could see where his numbers were, he did
have a tough year last year.
He still had 66 catches for 1,200 yards, basically, and 4 touchdowns.
Is this more of a product of Darnold that people don't think Darnold's going to be good? Is that what you think this is? Because we had a little chat that we saw that little text that Wally had sent, which was kind of just funny, but in truth, there is.
What? I don't know what you're.
Oh, that Madden that they ranked Wilson higher than Darnold. That they ranked Zach Wilson higher than Darnold in the Madden. What I'm saying to you though is a lot of people have been saying that hey, there's some really no trust in Darnold to really perform.
Well, I can understand that because when you look at some of his clips in New York, it doesn't give you much hope. But at the same point in time, you're also looking at a horrible offensive play caller and everything in Gase. Gase was just terrible. But I'm
just saying, I'm wondering why he's taking a hit because he performed. So I'm wondering where the hit is coming from that he's going this kind of low. And I've seen it in other places where it's saying that he's falling.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a bad pick there.
And I also don't understand sometimes what Fantasy Pros does with this thing, but like when you look at the board and some of the guys who went, like I wouldn't take a Cortland Sutton over him. Like,
yeah, you're right.
I wouldn't take Ayuk over him. I wouldn't take even Mike Evans over him.
I think I'm with you on almost all of them.
I wouldn't even take Tyler Lockett over him.
No, that's even you're right.
So I think it's just bad drafting. So their loss is our gain. That's the way.
Yeah, because I think that's a great pick there. And
Yeah.
of course,
That,
Fancy Pros tells us it is.
yep. All right. So let's go back this way. So now we have running backs: Jonathan Taylor, Antonio Gibson, wide receivers Woods and Godwin, and flex spot is DJ Moore. So far so good from going running backs early. We
Yeah,
stacked up on
I
some
like it.
receivers. Now we're looking at tight end. I think as a good spot for a tight end. I think Noah Fant at this point. I mean, not Noah Fant. TJ Hawkinson at this point in the draft is a nice little volume upside play. It's 64 overall. We already pretty much secured in most positions. Running back, while it would be nice to have another running back.
I wouldn't mind picking Darrell Henderson over the tight end.
Now
See if we get one of those tight ends back.
Now my only thing suggestions,
Because I think it's a drop. I think Darrell Henderson, they're giving the green light to. So, and because we have two solid number ones, I'm willing to roll the dice that this guy will be the man there, because all things point to him being number one runner, and we could get him as a flex. And you know how running backs are, shaky.
yeah.
That to me, the value of just having him there and the risk of it, I like it, and hoping that maybe we get one of those guys back.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that. It is a little bit risky as we see some of the other guys go off the board, including the guy that we were looking at in Hawkinson. Yep. But I do like where that went. I do like how the team is being built. We're like a quarterback, Herbert's there, Wilson's there, Hurts is there. Still a lot of options there available at quarterback. Wide receiver is starting to dry up a little bit.
Yeah.
Tight end, there's still some guys here that are interesting. Goddard is good. Thomas is good. But after that, Higbee, it gets a little dicey. And that's the other thing. I don't get how Higbee was below these guys until we go suggest another one. And then he
I know.
shoots
Yeah,
up,
that's
so.
weird. I never got that either, but I would probably go Dallas.
I probably, honestly, in my estimation here, I would. I'd probably try to go with one of these wide receivers. I think they're upside between.
My only thing is I would choose Dallas with the hope that I can maybe get Antonio Brown back.
But see, to me, it's like when I look at these tight ends, I'm like, I like Dallas. He's okay.
I just don't. I don't even know that. I'm just worried that Dallas, maybe Fant and Logan go.
But there's
and then we're stuck with the rest.
But you're saying that 3 tight ends are going to go in the next
6 picks?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 picks.
8, yeah, I could see that going. That's what I'm worried about. That's where I'm worried about. That's the thing about number 9. It's not like 11 or 12, right? Where you kind of know right back. It helps your strategy. This is number 9. There's a lot of picks to come back still. And to me, like, that's where I'm worried that I won't get that tight end. That in the receiving wise, I think I can still get Antonio Brown. I don't know about you, but I don't mind Antonio Brown coming back and getting him from the other receivers that were there. So that's my only issue.
So then, if you were looking,
and you're right though, 3 tight ends to get chosen 8 picks, that's still a lot.
If you're thinking that, then I probably then lean back on the quarterback and say we have our choice of Herbert and Wilson.
That's another way too.
I would then rather play it the other way and take the most secure player that I think we can get, which would be one of these 2 quarterbacks, and then kind of play it on the way back where we either get one of those tight ends that we like, and if not, there's always Antonio Brown.
Well, my other thought was that we could get Hurts, but you're right. It is still a big drop. I like Hurts.
And it is still a little bit of a risk. And
it is. But like if I get the tight end and then I can get Antonio Brown, and then
you're also think about it. If you're going Dallas and Hurts, you've gone all in on the Eagles.
That's
to put yourself tied to the Eagles.
But I don't not all in. I don't mind that one combination. My biggest thing is when I have a receiver or 2 receivers on the same damn team. I don't mind the quarterback tight end combination. That I don't mind. I don't mind that.
That's still a big chunk of that offense.
It's a good amount, but that's why you choose a backup quarterback. That's why you get a backup tight end. You never know,
Yeah,
but it could work out too to your advantage. When that Brady Moss thing, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm saying when it hits, it hits.
yeah, you're right, but I
So
just
it is interesting here, people watching and just listen talk. Basically, you have a lot of certain different ways you could go. It really depends on how much you value certain positions. Um, really what's left. Um, Steve does bring up a good point about the quarterbacks. Again, my thought was I could still get hurt somehow. I'm thinking I could get a tight end wide receiver and still get hurt.
yeah, I just don't trust Hurts over Herbert.
No. You're absolutely right about one thing. The sure pick is to get either Wilson or Herbert, probably right
And
now.
I honestly think I'd take Herbert over Wilson.
I would go Herbert too.
And that's like picking straws there, but I just I just have a feeling about Herbert having a
So do
big
I.
year.
I love Herbert too.
There goes Hurts, and there goes Dallas Goddard right there. So we
Boom.
get both. We both
We
get
get
Goddard and Herbert. Boom. Like that's beautiful there. We have
yeah.
three tight ends. I mean, we have one tight end, one quarterback, three running backs, three wide receivers. We have tight ends available on the board that are interesting.
Wow, those
Um,
guys are still there. Wow.
yep. Um, wide receiver, Gallup, Williams. I think that right here, getting a hookup for the quarterback, I think makes too much sense. And Mike Williams right here, just perfect.
I like Mike Williams too. Yeah.
Just perfect. Gallup, I don't like at all. I just think there's just too much volume. Just too much volume over there.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. Gallup is to me the odd man out.
Yeah. Now the good thing is because we have the three solid running backs, we're not hard pressed to find an additional running back. We can get running back at fair value, as they say.
Right.
Here, I'm looking for pretty much like the best available flex guy. And then we're looking at Noah Fant here, Tunyon. I don't know why they have all the tight ends listed there. Let me just see what wide receiver scoring. Wide receivers are still scoring more than the tight ends. Here, I think it's interesting. I think T.Y. Hilton offers upside. I think Hardman offers upside. I know that you're a big believer in Rieger.
I really like Hilton or Rieger, yeah. And I wouldn't mind choosing Rieger over Hilton.
I don't see the third option on Philly being that big because like we said, Dallas got everything is gonna be big. Jalen Hurts running is gonna be big. I think Smith is being slept on, the rookie Heisman Trophy winner, which would then put Rieger in an interesting situation of being the fourth guy on a team with a more of a seems like a run first quarterback. So I just don't know how much I trust him. He does offer a decent upside because of his skill set, but I think here T.Y. Hilton just
Yeah, I don't
the
mind
value here is because he could bounce back.
Could.
Like in the 10th round, that's not a bad risk to take.
No, I don't mind that at all.
So Beasley, Gage, a lot of the guys that they had before are still there, which is kind of weird.
Let me see the running backs.
Running backs wise, Latavius Murray, Lindsey, Tevin Coleman, Madison. I think that here snagging a Pigby just makes sense. That's the backup tight end. That gives us coverage.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all either.
When I look at the values of some of the other guys, it just doesn't make sense to take them too early. That was a nice steal there. Boom, boom, boom. They went off the board. At this point in the draft, I think it's when you can start looking for upside. I think seeing Stafford right there just made my eyes pop open. You see something? If Stafford's there, I think that might be the play right now.
Well, Stafford is there.
Yeah, I think when you look at everything that's available and the way this team is built, I like it Tevin Coleman, but I could wait on him. I'm not sold on him.
Right.
Whereas this locks us down for having quarterback play.
Yeah, I don't mind picking a backup QB right now. No.
Yeah,
and especially with who's left. I like Burrow as well.
To me, it's just the fact of Stafford is so safe that God forbid something happens to the starter or it's a bad situation, we can plug and play and run with it and not have to worry and lose a vital key part.
Right.
Same thing with the tight end, and we kind of ended up with the connection there. So I like that a lot. Running back wise, Tevin Coleman, I think that's the best play here. Again, it's the second to last pick. I think that he is decent.
Yeah, I mean there's
this
upside there.
offense. So we snag him right there.
He's one position away from.
Yeah, I mean we don't even technically know who the starter is.
Who the starter is, right? So even though I think it will be Elijah, but
who?
Elijah.
Elijah?
No, not Elijah. What's
the rookie Carter?
No, my God, I forgot the name.
Pirine?
No, the starting running back for the Jets.
The rookie?
Yeah,
Carter.
Yes, Carter.
Yeah. I just don't know how he's going to start off the bat though. Think that's
yeah. Well, they haven't said anything.
I think that's a bit of a risk, especially when I was talking to some people about it, and they were saying like a lot of other teams, because of where he fell like in the 4th or 5th round. A lot of other teams that had the need for running back passed on him just because of some of the ways he would run. He's not that good of an inside runner, and that's what scares me.
Where do you get picked? Where do you get picked?
I think he got picked in the 4th round, maybe.
No,
Carter. The running back? I don't think they got the running back that early, because they took the wide receiver in the 2nd round.
But that's what I'm saying. 4th round, I think, is still early. No, actually,
not to where some of the other running backs
are going. Yeah, you're
right. So I mean, I think at this point in the draft, man, I think this is definitely getting interesting, but I think here Traquan Smith makes the most sense, just because of everything that happened with Michael Thomas's upside is just there. He just has opportunity. There's no other wide receivers on.
Yeah, you're right. They got to throw to someone.
So that's just my 2 cents there. I'm happy that Ricky didn't petition us to get a kicker early or defense.
Oh no.
Like I don't think it would have been. I don't ever think it's worth it. We'll take a kicker here. You like who? We'll take who. Boom. And then defense. New England. Boom. And this is a A+ team.
You think so? What do you think? What do you think the grade is?
It's at least an A.
I see B.
A C+. Are you fucking kidding me? What the fuck kind of shit is this?
Where do you think it went wrong? Let's see.
I don't fucking know how stupid the fucking computer could be, but Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, everyone, for cursing. But, like,
let's see.
You have Herbert, Taylor, Gibson, Woods, Godwin, DJ Moore, and Henderson with Goddard. Fucking Mike Williams.
Yeah, I don't know where this went wrong.
Bro, I will go to war with this team any day of the week.
Steve, like, I'm with you. I'm trying to see where like the bad.
Bro, I got 2 RB1s, at least 2 wide receiver 2s, a tight end 1, a quarterback 1.
So I'm assuming they don't probably. Darrell Henderson is not someone that's rated high. I guess
didn't seem that low compared. At least the people that were drafted around his area.
I'm assuming it's our flex. I'm assuming they're not happy with the flex.
I can't imagine how when DJ Moore is a freaking steal.
Yeah, I don't think they're happy with the flex.
Overall point, like, look, our starters we're 3rd, so it's the bench that they're not happy with.
But yeah,
it's the bench.
It's the bench. Yeah, I guess so. Wow.
I don't really see that.
I wish I could see the other grades. Oh, they do. They tell you what the top team was, no?
No.
When you do projected standings.
It doesn't show grades, though.
No, but it doesn't show the grades, but it says who's number 1. So look at this.
Well, that's the thing, because it's either overall team where it's just a hodgepodge of the players, so it's really not that accurate. And then there's the starters, which with the starters when we're tied for 2nd.
Well, Rieger is the one they had. Look, they have them number 1 and 3. I just want to see what their team is.
Well, that's just based on projected points. So the thing about this is all really about just who can add up the most total points. So you could draft teams inside here that are built for to win a mock draft like this. So they might have like 2 or 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's right.
Prescott,
Swift.
Swift, Sanders, Hill, Tariq Adams, Tunyon, Kenny Galladay, Chase Edmonds. It's a pretty solid team.
Yeah, I don't think it's the receivers are great.
Anderson, I think, and Edmonds are pretty much almost same. Moore and Galladay, I probably lean more towards Moore. I like Goddard.
I don't like the running backs as much.
I think our running backs and their wide receivers are flipped, but they do have more elite because I mean you do have Tyreek Hill and Devontae.
No. That they do. You're right about that. That's what probably makes the team.
But at the end of the day, it's their bench which significantly outscores ours. But they don't. They're probably not upgraded on what Traquan Smith is. They're probably super down on Coleman, and that's going to be probably where.
Look, Deshaun Watson. Yeah, that's a funny.
But he didn't. He doesn't have Watson, and he only has. One quarterback. So, I'm not 100% sure how this all broke down like that.
But yeah, again, we believe it's
again it has like I said, the starters it has a rank tied for second. Bench it has us dead last, and I'm assuming because again this is all computer analysis. So
right.
When we look at the rosters, I'm assuming that the biggest reason why they have the bench being so bad is a couple of reasons. One, you're banking that these two guys they probably have super low on their projections,
right?
And two, probably Higbee as well, because there's no way Mike Williams and T.Y. Hilton with Stafford on your bench should be that low.
I really, I'm assuming they don't like, and no, I don't think they like any of our bench. I don't think they like Mike Williams or Hilton either.
Well, it's just impossible for them to like.
Yeah.
Like,
well, we'll see. That's good to keep an eye on just to see for giggles, see how that goes.
Well, I mean, yeah, again, this is almost like gamification of the draft process, where we can try to just go for the A's, or we can go to build the best team possible. And I definitely think that this team was built.
Oh no, we never go by points or what they analyze this. We go where when people watch, and we go by real life when we do our real life drafts. Our what we're looking at, what we're thinking. Hey, do we we had that conundrum where it's like, do we go for the quarterback right now for the short thing? Do we go for the tight end? Is he going to be there? How many picks? You count the picks that you have left. I mean, these all things go. I'm sure people watching, seeing it, should know by now. Hey, these are all things that you have to do during the draft. See what else other people have. Right now we really couldn't pull up what other people have. We could have, but we didn't. But when you're looking at the draft or whatever you see going, you see who's going, what positions leaving fast. These all go into how you draft.
Absolutely. But yeah, guys, this was our mock draft for the 9th spot in a 12-team league. I think that overall it's a really good squad. I guess that one of the big things that they probably have here is the Woods being our number 1 wide receiver, I guess. But
okay,
I don't even really know, because I love Taylor this year. I love Gibson. I mean, this team could bust though, because when you look at the team, Taylor and Gibson, they could underperform. Woods and Godwin, they're solid, but they're not like top tier number 1s. I think they're both going to be wide receiver 2s. I think we're looking at 3 wide receiver 2s and 2 RB1s, which most years is going to be a winning combination. But that's at least what my.
But also remember, people, if one of them slip, then it changes the whole. 1 or 2 slip, then all of a sudden now, it changes your whole dynamic of your team. That that's what, like you said, that's what we're risking with kind of Taylor and Gibson, because it is their second year. Do they have a sophomore slump? They have one has a new quarterback, right?
Yep.
So again, all these things go into it. So we are putting more stock into Taylor and Gibson. I'm with Steve. I think those two are going to be solid number 1s. I don't see them losing their job at all. There's really no one. I mean, they're gonna, I think they're gonna be the workhorse basically.
Yep, I agree wholeheartedly. And on that note, we wrapped up this mock draft, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed it. And until next time, we are out. Peace.
TDS Blitz, TDS Blitz, #1 fantasy sports show, about to get it poppin' like this. TDS Blitz, represented like that. The dopest fantasy football podcast. This is what you need. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Talking strategies and more. Helping you to win from player rankings, waiver pickup.